You ever play a game called Jenga? We've got a variation of that in our house. We call it kitchen Jenga. And it kind of centers around the garbage can that's under the kitchen sink. The rules are simple. Whoever gives in first to whatever towering mess is there and then ties it with the bag and takes out the garbage, they lose. You think my wife would lose every time. And at first she did. Until two things happened. One, I accidentally told her that the game existed. She didn't even know there was such a game and that I was playing it. Rookie move on my part. Second thing that happened was I started making coffee every morning using a paper filter and making coffee grounds, which meant if the garbage is already full from the night before, I was pretty much compelled to empty the garbage when I put my coffee grounds onto the stack. I need to work a lot harder to win the game these days. Now, this little game illustrates our tendency to think that somebody else should deal with this. A lot of online posts basically say the same thing. Someone should do something about this. In Matthew chapter 20, the mother of James and John asks Jesus for the best seats in his kingdom for the boys. They wanted seats in the VIP section, the assumption probably being that this was a place of status and power and greatness, which would imply being served by others. But Jesus flipped the script and he said, greatness in my kingdom looks like servanthood. Whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant. Whoever wants to be first must be your slave, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. See, the way you lead in the kingdom of God, the way you live as a follower of Jesus Christ is by serving. Following Jesus includes serving like Jesus. Let me say it again. Following Jesus includes serving like Jesus. In Philippians 2, we're told to have the same mindset that Jesus had. It says, who being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. The posture of Jesus Christ is one of serving. Coming to earth was an act of service. Going to the cross was an act of service. Continuing to intercede for us as he does today is an act of service. He leaned into service. That's his posture. And a question that's kind of been bugging me as I've reflected on this is, what's my posture? What do I lean into? What do you lean into? My posture has at times been structure and planning and control, which, structure and planning are all bad unless it drifts into trying to control other people, which is the opposite of service. It might be that your posture is security, physical, emotional, financial security, which, if it becomes our focal point, eliminates serving because serving is risky. A common posture is seeking pleasure, hedonism, doing things because you deserve it, you've earned it. And when we seek pleasure above all else, serving others is excluded because serving others isn't pleasurable. But if following Jesus includes serving like Jesus, and if we claim to be his followers, it's probably worth examining our default posture to see if a realignment is needed. What if we take an honest look and discover that serving has been displaced in our leadership or in our lives? How do we change that? A lady went to her lawyer and said, I want to get a divorce and I want to hurt my husband. I hate him. Any ideas? Lawyer says, you're going to divorce him anyway, so how about this? For the next 3 months, be nice to him. Don't criticize him. Build him up. Compliment him. He'll think things are going great, and then when you hand him the papers, it'll crush him. The lady said, brilliant idea. And so for the next 3 months, she complimented her husband for everything he did. She told him what a great man he was, encouraged him constantly. Later calls her up after a few months, says, are you ready to finish things off and do the divorce? She said, are you nuts? I love this man. And they canceled the divorce and went on a second honeymoon. See, there's a little known principle for personal change, and it's this: do things that align with our desired posture or identity. If we want to love someone more, we do loving things for them. And to grow as a servant, we don't just sit around waiting for feelings of servanthood to start flowing over us. We just start serving. See, what we feel is not who we are. What we do is who we are. Emotions don't rule us. Our wills rule us, our choices. And when we choose to do things that counter how we feel, our feelings tend to come around. So if I need to grow as a servant, the solution is to do serving things. Here's some ideas of how to serve. Invite someone over for a meal. Having someone in your home exercising hospitality is a great way to serve. Pray for someone. Better yet, pray with them. Listen. Giving someone undivided attention is a rare gift. There's an epidemic of loneliness in our world, and listening to people breaks through the silence, and it's a great act of service. Encourage someone. Speak hope into their life. It's a discouraging world out there, and if you are an encourager, you're serving them. Get involved in your community. Meeting the real needs of those who are in a tougher spot than you is a great act of service. I'm sure you can easily identify other areas for service. Life is short. The older you get, the more true it becomes. You can respond to that truth in two ways. You can do the old carpe diem and try to squeeze the most juice, the most pleasure and experiences and status and money and sex and power because it's soon going to be all over. Or you can recognize that, yeah, life is short, but eternity is long. And so you choose to lean into serving just as Jesus did, because that represents him well. Because it helps people here and now, and it might actually impact their eternal destinies. And when we serve, it makes us a part of the answer to the prayer for his kingdom to come and his will to be done on earth as it is in heaven.